All right, what's up, guys? This is Krysta Jones on the T with THC, and I got Adrian Garcia with me here. What's up,
What's
Adrian?
up, y'all? Hey,
Hell
how's
yeah.
it going, Krista?
Appreciate you taking the time, bro. It's always a pleasure catching up. You already know.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
today, we want to know who the T, a little bit about AG from the 303. So can you tell us about a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, definitely. Currently, I am an event curator and a DJ. My background is in banking and financing. I did business banking for JP Morgan for a good deal of time. Decided to go back to school, and one of my clients actually paid for it. I was on scholarship, and I graduated with horticultural business management degree at Front Range Community College. I was finishing out my degree up at CSU, and I got hit in a hit and run accident and kind of just changed the entire course of my life and set me into a different direction within the space and also within entertainment and music.
That's dope, man. So a little bit of finance, a little bit of entrepreneur, a little bit of music, little pot of Adrian.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of crazy how that pot got stirred up, but through tragedy, heartache, different things come about. And yeah, so the way I got into the space itself is um, I owned a dispensary. After I had left the business and finance, I bought into a dispensary, and there was some there's the early stages, right? There were moratoriums, there were different things that were happening within the space. And so if we burned down, we couldn't rebuild. And unfortunately, the building that we were in was no longer feasible and the owner sold it. And so, on to a different path again with the pivot. But that's what a lot of people have experienced within the space. And so that was just, a part of the journey.
So jumping into the dispensary and retail, especially in the early stages in Colorado, what was that like? I know for me on the growth side and the the entrepreneur side, I didn't necessarily grow on a retail or a brand until later, right? I was super excited. How was it for you?
It was interesting because we were a grow and a retail all in one building, and it was like a little cabin. And so the grow was upstairs, the retail was downstairs, and I mean it was a good experience. It got me into really understanding kind of like how metric was working and the ins and outs of seed to sale and tracking and all of that, and ensuring that you're compliant with everything that you're doing as far as on the grow side, and then you know it was interesting because when we would move product, and even though it was in the same building, we had to move product from upstairs to downstairs. You still had to manifest it. You still had to do all of the things. And so it was a really good tool and a really good experience for me that brought me into my later years and kind of what I can relate to for business owners now.
Yeah, man. That and what years like how what year was that in?
That was 2015 to
2015.
2016.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
so we had just went recreation 2014. So
right.
did you open as medical or did you open as rec?
We were medical, alternative medical supplies
Okay.
was the name of the business. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
We were in the Montañas. We were up in Highway 119, a little bit past Blackhawk.
Okay, shoot. That's a cool little
Yeah.
area, a cool little vibe, I bet. It was probably like for me when I would go to places like that to work, it was like a dream, you know? It was unreal. It was like, what am I doing like in this beautiful place? Trimming weed, counting weed.
Right.
what?
With deer outside and bears
Yeah.
and all of it. Yeah.
Just go out there, take a safety meeting.
Right. Quick safety meeting.
Right?
Watch the
But
sunset.
yeah, man, that's super cool. I didn't even know that. No, but yeah, early stages of the industry, it was definitely fun and exciting. What did it look like financially to start a shop and a retail at that time? I worked at a lot of mom and pops before I actually left the Colorado market, and those were the only companies that I saw thriving, but it was also hard because they did so many things. How was it for you?
It was definitely a journey to say the least. I didn't start it. It was already functioning when I had gone in, and unfortunately, within the space, you have a lot of people that say what they can do but can't do what they say. And so at that time that yeah, I know, right? Go figure.
Oh.
So at that time, there just were some issues on the grow side where people just weren't doing what they had said they were going to be able to do, and not coming through on the grow aspect. And so it was more in line with taking my knowledge from the grow side and really applying it. Because I mean, while 2015 was when I jumped into the regulated market, I had been involved in cannabis since as early as 2010. And so really just honing in on what I was able to do on that side while taking my knowledge in business and business banking and finance and applying it to the retail side. And so it was definitely a good experience. It was good to um, really learn what it looks like to be at the forefront of a industry and really start to build that out and help people in the way of knowledge when it comes to growing and retail.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think that's one of the things that excites me the most about the industry is that it's all new, and we're the ones, digging the way. So
Yeah, exactly. It was the green rush, right? And
yeah.
and everybody's kind of flying by the seat of their pants, and then you have regulators that are 100 years behind. And so trying to appease them, make sure you're doing what they want you to do while also towing the line,
Yeah.
and pushing the envelope, because if you don't, you'll stay stagnant and the industry would stay stagnant. And so it's it's cool to see how much growth has actually happened, but also very interesting in the fact that it's still in its infancy nationwide.
Oh my God. And I think that's one of the biggest things the Smoke Currency Tour did for us, right? It really showed us like, oh my God, people are doing the same thing that we were doing so long ago.
Yeah, yeah,
What is
over
going
a
on?
decade ago.
Right. And for freaking shoot, in 2008, 9, I really stepped into the space out of high school. And before that, obviously, things are going on. And just to see that that's where we're still at in the most of the world. And then half of the world is in another space that they're exhausted themselves and can't figure out how to make some money. It's so crazy to me. So, which brings me to go ahead, go ahead.
Well, yeah, and probably we're in the same line as how what's available in the market right now for people like us, and being that we were at the forefront, and also there's so many places that are not even there yet, um in the aspect of you know how to actually make money in the business. And so it's like bridging that gap and being able to go to people and say, okay, well, these are the things that you can do to advance faster in your journey within this space. And this is why I know. This is why I know this is what you should do, because I did it.
Yeah,
I messed it up
right.
royally in some aspects, and so like we learned what not to do, and what works, what doesn't work. And so and then it's also speaking both languages, and the fact that we come from a completely different side of the cannabis space than your corporate entities, your corporate people that are now funding a lot of these MSOs and a lot of these um a lot of the partners, right? And being able to speak both languages within the community and within corporate, to bridge the gap between, and show them like, yeah, you can make money, you can do this, and you can stay true to your roots and stay true to the community and involve the community and be involved in the community.
And then that's what makes the brand thrive, right? Like the very thing that everybody forgets is exactly what people need to do. Invest in the in the network, invest in their community, participate, show up, do what they're supposed to, and deliver on the product that they say they can. And it's
Yeah.
crazy how people fall so short of that. when it seems common sense, right? But
Yeah.
it's easier said than done, I think. You know, it's hard to show up consistently in a lot of ways, especially when times are tough. And I think that the cannabis industry has beaten a lot of good people up, and at this point they're pivoting, right? And so they're either finding other ways in the space to make money and to live, or they're leaving the space, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you're doing more so today, right? Is with DJing, entertainment, music. Can you touch on that and how you've been able to pivot and make things make sense for you in the space?
Yeah, absolutely. So the whole journey began after the accident, and it was really the reason I started the entertainment side is because a lot of my friends were doing music and in particular hip hop music, and that's been a long there's a long standing history on how um, having space to do hip hop in cities has never really been a thing, or at the time it was a really rough thing because of all the negative connotations that come along with it. And so what I would do is I would buy out the venues, rent the venues, throw my own shows, and then involve different aspects of the community, as far as cannabis vendors, artists, live painters, and then doing events that and curating events that were more than just a rap show, more than just a hip hop show, from silent discos to having multiple stages to really capturing people's attention in different ways. That way they didn't leave, because one of the natures of the industry is, you throw a hip hop show, a rap show, and everybody, you know, each artist brings their friends, and then they all leave right after they're done with their set. And that's kind of the nature of the beast right now. And unless you give people something else to do, attention spans are short these days. They always have been, but attention spans are really short these days. And so if they don't have anything to keep them occupied, anything cool or engaging, they're going to take off and go to the next spot. And so that's really what I've been able to kind of curate throughout the years is creative and fun events that incorporate all different things, including cannabis, and really being able to help companies understand how to get an ROI out of these events, because obviously they're paying for them, and it's not going to necessarily translate into actual dollars at the event, but capturing data. And that's something that you've played a big role in helping me with as well. And is how do we capture what we need to capture so we can follow up, and then utilize the data in a way that we can have somewhat of a return. And so being able to create activations that focus on that without seeming too like corporate, like just give me all your information, fun and exciting ways to engage with people, and give these brands an opportunity to really capture data and build their brand and their fan base, and based off of after the event type of thing, while promoting them throughout the event and promoting them pre, during, and post promotion kind of thing.
Definitely. I think that's where the sauce is, right? Like that's where the juice is when you're throwing events. Everyone wants to throw an event and get sponsorships and get this and get that, but they forget the full picture on the deliverable, and which is pre-event actually getting the hype going, building it in collaboration with that brand and whatever, specific exchange that is negotiated, and emphasizing that opportunity. There has to be all these touch points as you throw these events. That way the ROI is there, right? You're not just sitting
Right.
here throwing parties endlessly and just partying with your friends and getting fucked up and shit doesn't make sense. It's very strategic. Prior to the event, there's a lot of promotion, there's a lot of leverage, there's a lot of networking, there's a lot of work that goes into the event. During the event, you already know that shit is, everyone thinks it's fun and I want to throw an event, I want to throw parties, but you're working, right? Like
Yeah.
on my birthday, I don't want to do shit. I want everything done for me. I want to relax. I went to the spa, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
parties are work, and then post the event, if you don't really attack in those manners, like you're you wasted your money. And if that's the case, then go make a quick sale, because the events are to build awareness and build brand and build community. And if that's not the goal, it's really not a good fit for the company. And that's why they
Right.
think that they're spending or overspending when they just don't get the point. Right.
Yeah. And when, especially when you hit the nail on the head, like the collaboration aspect, you know, oftentimes brands and companies think, okay, well, I'm going to be a part of this event and they're going to bring all the people. And, you know, for people that have an established network, for people that have an established, like, they know the type of event that's going to happen, and they have an entire community built around it, that works sometimes. What works all the time is when it's everybody involved, everybody's promoting, everybody's pushing, everybody's hitting their email list, you know. And so emphasizing that there's pre, during, and post work to these brands, and helping them realize that they're a part of it just as much as the promoter or the event curator and all of that, and helping them realize that if we do it this way, it will work. It will work on a social media aspect, it'll work on a content gathering aspect, it'll work on a data gathering aspect, and then at the end of the day, it'll end up working on your bottom line because you did all the work.
Right. If you do the work, it will work.
Okay, exactly.
If you do, what a funny concept, right?
Yeah, right.
If you do the work, but people don't understand what they signed up for. They think I just show up to a party, and that's true. You can just show up to the party for a nice fee, right? If you
Yeah.
got pockets like that, you could show up to the party and have these expectations for everything in your ecosystem to work. However, people want to come in on a strategic budget, very they have these $1 million ideas. However, the budget doesn't sometimes match, and I think that's where the confusion comes into, is the ROI there, right? If you spent $50 and you made 5 connections, that's $10 a head, right? And are you even doing that math, right?
Right.
Right.
And
So
then that falls on the promoter or event curator side, you know, is being able to show that value and actually explain what it is that they're getting into and why they're doing and asking them to do certain things. And so, like, there's a lot that goes into it. And yeah, you could throw a rager and you can go
yeah,
in and you can do decent, you know, and as a brand you can be involved, and yeah, you get some content and stuff like that. But if you're not intentional with it and you feel like you overspent and it under delivered, there's a lot of, it's not, doesn't just fall on the event curator's shoulders.
no, no,
It doesn't just fall, and it doesn't just fall on their shoulders. It's a
no.
whole thing,
Team,
right? It's a team.
teamwork,
Yeah.
teamwork.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. No, and I think that's why we work so well, because I feel like we put a lot of energy in and we see the repercussion of it, right? Like we're constantly tagging each other, putting leads together, and it's like you're busy, I'm busy, and when we're not busy, we're strategizing how we can get busy.
Yeah, exactly.
And we put that energy in and we see it produce, so I agree, it only works if you work, right? And there's a lot of education for people like ourselves that are doing these things, so that way people understand exactly what they're getting, and it's not they don't uh exhaust the brands and the marketing
Right.
efforts that we can get, because we already know, management goes first, marketing goes first, HR goes first. All these things are not easy asks, right? It really is the right person with the right budget, with the right story, with the right product. And when you have those people and you exhaust them, it's tough to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially if you get that right brand, you get that right product, and they have a budget, but yet they don't want to listen to what you're saying as the person with experience, you're not going to go anywhere.
Correct.
Because there's a lot of people that are coming into the space that have all this money and want to just throw it at events or throw it at this, that, and the other, that don't take into consideration the community and who they're serving and why they're even there outside of they see dollar signs.
Mhm.
Then you'll fail. You will literally fizzle out and in a big way. And it's hard to recognize the brands that are in that position because us as curators and as people who take this shit seriously, when you're not listened to, it's frustrating, and it tends to get people like a little bit jaded because it's like, we could have done so well if y'all would have just listened. You're coming from an entirely different industry that what you're talking about works. Here it doesn't. So yeah, you might have the money, yeah, you might have this, but we're the experts. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you're an expert in your field and in your industry, and that's what got you all that money, and that's awesome. We're the experts here. Listen to us because we've done it. We've
Yeah.
been involved, and now it's in a it's goes from being involved in the actual industry to ancillary things such as event curation and all of that, DJ stuff, all of that, and it goes, and now the whole like menu is available, and it all bleeds into each other to make a cohesive event, a cohesive space where we can have fun, throw ragers, and make money and build community all at the same time. And all it comes down to is everybody working together.
I know it's crazy. It's crazy. We put our heads together, what we could do, right?
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
If you
So
work, it will work. That's a t-shirt.
yeah,
Straight up.
it worked. It worked. But so before we go, what do you hope to accomplish in this space? What do you hope to accomplish in general at all as Adrian Garcia, AG from the 303? What does that look like for you? What's the goals?
So moving to Miami is a big aspect and part of my life. I'll be there in a couple of weeks. Real excited to be out there with you, and really just kind of taking what the knowledge that I've attained, here in Denver, and the connections that I've built and community that I've built here, and do the same out there, and really hone in on what it looks like to be able to create organic community members community members organically, and really be able to push brands in a way that isn't like just in your face, but more like connecting the brands with the community in a way that's fun and exciting. And that's something that I've been able to do out here, and I'm blessed to have the people that have helped along the way. Big ups to the Denver DJ School, on teaching me how to become a better DJ, and learn how to really hone in on my practice, and kind of workflow, and what it actually means to be a DJ, gauging your crowd, playing the type of music. Yeah, it's good to play music that you like, but you're there to rock a party. You're there to
Host it.
engage with people. Yeah, host, exactly. And so really been able to hone in my DJ skills here, and it's been amazing. And then getting sponsors, big shout out to Weed Mats, because they've really helped me through a lot as well, and putting me in a space to where I can do cool DJ shit, and just having them present, and like do cool interviews, and just having people present, and companies present while I do it. And so just really grateful for the community that has supported me throughout the years out here, through just our events and collaborations. Big shout out to Party Guru, big shout out to Potent Productions, Lossless. They're a sound company. They have big, giant, huge sound. My boy Max Rosier, who's helped me in the way of like getting more knowledge on the operations and logistics side. And so like really just becoming a well-rounded event curator and promoter, and then bringing that out there, and continuing to do that, and even more, even bigger, and just really bringing a lot to the cannabis industry in general, and being able to create these events, and also get them a little bit of ROI while we're doing it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, man, I'm super excited. I can't wait for you to come out here. You've really picked up some steam watching you grow in Colorado. So I know that out here with the nightlife and the lack of exactly what we do. I feel
Yeah.
like it's a perfect sweet spot for us to really get in, build community, and plug into the networks out here to make them make sense, you know, and still have it a blast and be in one of the nicest places in the world while we do it. So I cannot wait for you to come out here. It's going to be super exciting. And where can everybody find you? Where can everybody follow up with you, catch up, get more tea of Adrian AG from the 303?
Well, you said it right there. My Instagram is AG from the 303. You can also catch me at FanBam5280. FanBam Productions is my production company where you can see all of the events that we've done throughout the years, everything that we're kind of involved in, from corporate events like Raven Busters to nonprofit events like uh, the Green Latinos and the Autism Society of Colorado. We take pride in really being involved and building community, and you know, we've had a huge support system here, and just hope to build that out there too. So that's where you can find me. And yeah, man, I look forward to seeing all you beautiful faces out in Miami.
Oh yeah, cool. Well, that's it. That's the tea with THC. Thank you so much, Adrian, for joining us. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you.
Peace.